We got one of the best episodes of AEW Dynamite this year, headlined by an incredible ladder match between Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships. What happened after that bout was also shocking. We also had Miro in action against Ethan Paige, and Chris Jericho versus Ortiz in a hair versus hair match, as well as lots more. So amid all the chaos in the wrestling world at the moment, let's get straight into Dynamite out of 10. We started off with a heavy hair match. Ortiz started the match by taking down Jericho with a clothesline. The latter went for a lion salt, but Ortiz got his knees up. Jericho tried to hit Hurricane Rana from the middle rope, but his opponent reversed it into a powerbomb. The Wizard then hit back with a suplex from the apron onto the floor. Jericho was on top when we resumed from the commercial break. Ortiz continued to fight, taking Jericho down with a desperate clothesline. He whipped Jericho into the corner, but was almost caught in the wall to Jericho. Ortiz then tried to roll up, but only got a 2 count. Jericho hit a code breaker of his own, but couldn't put Ortiz away. Jericho then locked in the wall to Jericho, but Ortiz managed to reach the bottom rope. A brawl broke out ringside between the JAS and Santana, Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta. Kingston then came up from behind the referee and hit Jericho but with his spinning elbow, but couldn't put him away. Fuego del Sol then came out and hit Ortiz with a baseball bat. This was enough for Jericho to take the win. But yeah, it turned out it wasn't Fuego del Sol, as some might have thought. It was Sammy Guevara. Ortiz then cut off his own hair. But yeah, Sammy Guevara reuniting with Jericho and Jake Hager. And yeah, for me, this is exactly what he needs to revitalise himself. Because obviously he's had a bit of a tough time. But yeah, I think this is perfect for him. Can't wait to see where it goes. But yeah, the match and the post-match stuff, or the interference, was really good. So yeah, love this. Great start to Dynamite, 8 out of 10. Wardlow then took on 20 Paintless. The security guys had the ring surrounded and tried to swarm Wardlow. He powerbombed one Paintless into the rest of the group out at ringside. Wardlow then pinned and submitted 2 guys at the same time. Mr Mayhem then hit a series of spine busters and pinned a group of them at the same time. He then dished out powerbombs and pinned 3 more. Wardlow then stacked 4 more and eliminating them. More powerbombs from him. He then caught one of the Paintless in midair and powerbombed him into a pile of qualities before pinning the stack for the win. Dan Lambert then implored MMA legends Matt Hughes and Tyron Woodley, who were at ringside, to attack Wardlow. They got into the ring, but ended up tossing Mark Sterling at Mr Mayhem, who ended up eating a powerbomb. And yeah, this was just a bit of fun. Sometimes you like chaos in your wrestling, and this is exactly what it was. Good stuff, love this, 7 out of 10. Will Osprey then took on Dax Harwood on Dynamite following the match between United Empire and FTR and Trent on Rampage last week. Osprey dominated the early stages of the match, although Harwood kept fighting back intermittently. The NJPW star then locked in an octopus hold at one point, but Harwood broke free with a hip toss. Harwood then hit back with 5 German suplexes in a row, which got standing ovation from the fans. The 2 stars headed to the top, where the FTR member attempted to suplex. Osprey countered it in midair into a crossbody. Harwood replied with a roll up for a 2 count. Osprey then forced Harwood to roll out of the ringside and take him out with a dive. Back in the ring, Harwood went for a powerbomb, but Osprey broke free with the Oz cutter. Dax Harwood then blocked it and hit a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Osprey and Harwood traded headbutts before trading strikes. Harwood then took Osprey down with a lariat, but the latter hit back with a powerbomb of his own for a 2 count. He followed out with the Oz cutter, but it still wasn't enough to put Dax away. Will Osprey then caught Harwood in the back of the head and with a running elbow strike to pick up the win. The United Empire came down to the ring after the match. Trent and Cash Wheeler tried to come down to help, but the numbers were against it. Orange Cassidy's music then hit to a huge ovation. He walked down and had a face-off with Will Ospreay, and it looks like we're getting Cassidy versus Ospreay at Forbidden Door, and that's an intriguing match. Didn't see that coming, but yeah, that has the potential to be really great. And on the match itself, of course, it was great. 2 of the best wrestlers in the world. What else can you get except for an 8 out of 10? Really solid for a TV match. Mox was out next and took the mic and told Tanahashi that he had been chasing the latter across the globe and was finally getting his hands on him at Forbidden Door. The duo was then interrupted by Jericho, Guevara and Conti. Jericho announced that Guevara and Conti were now in the JAS and said that the one reason Moxley won the title shot at Forbidden Door was that he wasn't on Dynamite last week. Lance Archer and Desperado then attacked Moxley and Tanahashi from behind. JAS reached the ring and joined the beatdown. And yeah, this was okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense to establish a new group with Guevara in it, but to be honest, I kind of just wish we left this to Moxley and Tanahashi to have their big face-off that we'd all been anticipating. So it wasn't bad, just felt like it could have gone on in a better, different direction. Before we got Ethan Paige versus Miro, Paige did his best to avoid Miro and frustrate the latter in the opening stage of the match. The game plan worked initially, and Paige worked over Miro's left arm and shoulder. As the match built to ringside, Miro took back control. Back in the ring, Paige got briefly distracted and ate a drop kick from Miro. The Redeemer then went off to Dan Lambert at ringside. Paige blindsided Miro with a flying shoulder tackle. The 2 stars traded strikes before Paige sent Miro crashing into the steel steps. Miro then got back in quickly and knocked down Lambert off the apron. The former WWE star then locked in the game over submission for the victory. And yeah, I mean, like, decent match. Probably gets 6 out of 10 for me, just because it didn't stand out on such a stacked show, but wasn't too bad at all, and definitely the right result. Before we got Britt Baker versus Toni Storm. Baker and Storm exchanged strikes before Baker was forced to roll out the ring and back off. Storm chased her out the ring, but Baker capitalised and sent her head first onto the apron. Storm then hit back and took control of the match. Back in the ring, both stars went back and forth before Reba distracted the ref, with Jamie Hayter pulled Storm out of the ring. Thunder Rosa came out to even the odds. Toni Storm then took back control of the match and rocked Baker with a hip attack in the corner. It looked like Baker was injured, but she was playing possum and rolled Storm up for a near fall. She then put on her glove and got ready for the lockjaw. Storm then countered and hit the German suplex, and then hit the Storm Zero to pick up the win. Toni Storm was now the number 1 contender for the Women's Championship. And yeah, I mean, like, it's fair to say that Britt Baker is like the face of the women's division, and getting a win over her is huge. So yeah, it really puts Toni Storm over. So, you know, good stuff. I'm kind of torn between 6 and 7, just because it's kind of in its usual spot of the women's division. But, you know, I think what they did was effective. So I'm going to go in the middle and give it a 6.5 out of 10. Stokely half of the way was then backstage with Tony Schiavone and announced that Jake Cargill was going to have an open challenge for the TBS Championship. Nearly Nightingale then came up and accepted Cargill's open challenge. I'm looking forward to that, that'll be a great match. Hangman Page was out next, and he said that even though Kazuchika Okada was no longer the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, he still wanted to challenge Okada. Adam Cole said that Okada would not be at Forbidden Door, and he would be the one to challenge the new IWGP Heavyweight Championship, his friend Jay White. White then sneaked up to Hangman and hit one with a Blade Runner. White then announced that he's already had a 2-0 record against Hangman and wouldn't put his title on the line against him. He then told Cole it wouldn't be him either. Uncertainty. Intrigued to see where this goes. Jurassic Express vs. the Young Bucks was up next. Luchasaurus took control of the match very early on for his team. The latter then came out, and only a few minutes into the match as the Bucks tried for a quick victory. Jungle Boy then hit Matt Jackson with an incredible springboard Hurricane Rana, stopping from climbing the ladder. The two then continued to hit each other with everything they had. The Bucks set up a ladder in a corner and tried to toss Jungle Boy into it. The latter then came up, climbed up the ladder and hit a springboard off the top rope and wiped out both Bucks. The Bucks then set up a table at ringside and tried to suplex Jungle Boy off it. Luchasaurus then stopped, and Jungle Boy hit Matt Jackson with a Hurricane Rana and sent him through the table. On the opposite side of the ring, another table was set up. Jungle Boy charged Nick Jackson, but he was powered on through this table. Nick Jackson then hit Luchasaurus with a 450 splash for another table. Young Bucks were in complete control at this point. They stacked tables on top of each other at ringside, and Schiavone declared on commentary that Bucks had lost their mind. Back in the ring, Luchasaurus cleared house with 2 ladders now set up in the middle of the ring. Both things climbed to the top. Jungle Boy was the first knocked off. The Bucks then powerbombed Luchasaurus into the ladder. Nick Jackson then hit Luchasaurus with an elbow through the table at ringside. It was briefly 2-on-1 as Jungle Boy fought off both Bucks. The Young Bucks then tried to hit a BTE trigger while on the ladder, but was pushed off. Luchasaurus tried to climb the ladder, but the Young Bucks sent him crashing through the double-decker tables and set up at ringside. The Young Bucks then took out Jungle Boy with a BTE trigger and climbed the ladder and retrieved the belts to become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Christian Cage was helping Doc Sampson take Jungle Boy out of the ring. He suddenly hit a helpless Jungle Boy with a kill switch and took 2 chairs from under the table and hit the young star with a concerto too, as his mother and sister looked on. And yeah, this is incredible. First of all, the match itself, just brilliant. Of course it was going to be with these two teams in a ladder match. Just carnage and chaos. And yeah, gets an 8 out of 10. Obviously, maximise what they could have done with everything that's gone on this week. Not really going to touch on it. But yeah, just a brilliant match. Intrigued to see what the Young Bucks can do with the Titans again. But yeah, that's going to be great. And in terms of the Christian Cage, he'll tell me, no, it's been coming for a while, but it's finally happened now. And I think this could be the making of Jungle Boy. It's going to be a really great feud. Christian Cage is obviously great. And yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. So 8 out of 10, a great way to end the show. Overall, AEW Dynamite this week, that's an 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I mentioned at the top, it's one of the best shows, Dynamite shows this year, and I definitely, I agree with that. I agree with my own statement, surprisingly. But yeah, it was just a really great show. Those are great matches. The ending, developments for Forbidden Door finally taking shape. Just a really, really great TV show. Loved it this week. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, any sorts of comments, comment, follow us. Thank you for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe, and I would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.